Hello and welcome to Azariah's Studio. My name is Sarah. I am the artist and designer behind Azariah's Studio. I'm going to show you how to work the double yarn over and then how to work it on the following row because that gets tricky for some people. If you want to follow along, go ahead and make this swatch by following these instructions. I'm going to knit the first 6 stitches. And now I'm going to work a double yarn over. So I'm at knit, there's 1, there's 2. To make a double yarn over is actually quite simple. To work the double yarn over on the return side is where people get lost. Alright, knit the next 4. Double yarn over again, and then knit the last 6. Alright, turn your work, knit 2, purl to the double yarn overs. Right, here we are, double yarn overs. We're going to purl the first one, take it off. I still have this yarn over here. Take the yarn to the back and knit the second one. Bring the yarn back to the front and purl the next 4 stitches. Okay, double yarn overs right here. This time, take the yarn to the back, knit the first one, bring the yarn back to the front, purl the second one, finish the row, ending with 2 knits. Here they are from the front side. So working the double yarn over is only tricky because you're working 2 different stitches into the same stitch, is basically what it comes down to. So if I purl the first yarn over here, I can't purl the next one because it's just going to make a mess. There's just going to be a mess. So we have to do something so that it will behave, and that is knitting. Okay, if I knit the first one, I still can't knit the second one. I end up with the same mess, kind of laying a different direction. So I bring the yarn to the front and I purl it. So, with a double yarn over, you have 2 loops. What you do to the first loop, you do the opposite to the second loop. It doesn't matter if you knit the first and purl the second, or if you purl the first and knit the second. As long as you don't try to do the same thing to both loops, your double yarn over will look great and will be less frustrating. And that is how you work a double yarn over. I'm going to show you some more detail about working in a double yarn over. Sometimes it will be more than just a double yarn over. It'll be way more. Sometimes it'll be like 5 or 5. So you just keep wrapping the yarn around the needle the number of times that it tells you. If it's 5, if it's 7, if it's 11, pretty sure it can be an even number too. We'll try that. Well, yeah. It could be 6, it could be 8. It could be any number that the designer wants. And I'm going to show you how to work with that. It's simple. It's not any more complicated. There aren't any more steps than when it's just a double yarn over. Alright, purl back row, gonna knit 2. And we're going to purl to that first set of yarn overs. All right, we're to the multiple yarn over now. So we'll start with a purl, drop it off. Knit the next one, drop it off. Purl the next one, drop it off. Knit the next one, drop it off. Okay, we're done. Come back to purls. This time we can start with a knit. Knit it, drop it off. Purl the next one, drop it off. Knit the next one, drop it off. Purl the next one, drop it off. Knit the next one, drop it off. So as long as you do every other stitch in that multiple yarn over, as a knit, purl, or a purl, knit, purl, knit. It doesn't matter how many loops there are in it. It doesn't matter what you begin with, as long as you don't try to do two of the same stitch in a row. This is going to create very large yarn overs. Stephen West does a lot of this stuff. I'm trying to think of another designer. It's another way of making holes and lace in knitting. All right, but you might be asking yourself, well, how do I know whether or not I've done the stitch and it's time to drop it off? Well, part of that is you need to know how many yarn overs there were in that loop, so that you can count how many stitches you've done and how many loops you have left. And don't just be randomly yarning over, because then if you have yarned over too many times, if it's just one, you can kind of fudge that and drop the extra. But if you've yarned over two or more times more than you needed and you drop all those, it's going to affect the tension of the stitches. If you are short stitches, you can make up one, maybe two, but I wouldn't do more than that. So if you don't remember, because say you've done multiples and there's different numbers for different size holes or whatever the designer's got going on. So I'm to that large loop. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 yarn overs in this loop that I need to take care of. We're going to start with a purl. Oh, there's still 4 yarn overs, but I've worked the stitch, so I know I need to drop it off. Now we're going to knit. 2 left, 1 left, and then that's done. What if you can't remember if you worked a knit or a purl for that last stitch and you can't quite read your knitting yet? Well, that one's pretty easy and becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly. Purl, drop it off. Try to purl again, and remember, it makes a mess. It makes another loop, but not exactly another stitch. So when you see something that looks strange, go ahead and back out of it and try the opposite stitch. Well, in the process of that, did I drop them? I don't know. That's why you need to know the number of yarn overs you had in the big yarn, in the multiple yarn over loop, before you start doing your stitches. So this one has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see there's a little bit of slack here. There's even some on this end as well. Another reason you need to know the number of yarn overs that should be in each multiple yarn over loop, because if you back it out and you decide that this is another one and you pick it up, well, now you have 6. Now you've increased a stitch more than what you should have been. Know your numbers, know what you start with. All right. Know your numbers. Pay attention to the stitch that you're currently doing. drop it off, change your stitch, drop it off, change your stitch, drop it off. Just keep doing that till all the yarn overs are gone. And if you end, this time I ended with a purl and I'm on a purl row. If I had ended with a knit and I was on a purl row, I'm just going to bring that yarn forward and continue my purl row. Same applies if you're on a knit row. If you're on a knit row and you ended with a purl stitch in that multiple yarn over, put the yarn to the back and continue with your knit row. Pay attention to what the patterns tell you. And if you have questions, try and ask the designer. If you want to ask me, you're more than welcome to ask me. I am always here to help. So that's dealing with a multiple yarn over on the return row. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Happy making!